check in. And yeah, looks like we're both streaming and we're recording. So Facebook won't let me. Okay, what's new there? And so it's going up to YouTube. So if you have any questions, pop them up there. So hey, it's the 1st of February. Can you believe it? Oh man, what a world we're in. And last week I spent 3 days in or 3.5 hour sessions with Tony Robbins in that event. And Time to Rise. And it just like really helped me to focus and refocus. And I'm actually on day 3. Was it day 4? Lose count of a fast here. Hey, Daryl, glad you made it, brother. And so I'm on day 3 of a fast right now. And so that's like day 2 was like ups and downs. Today has been easier. Let's put it that way. Whether I would say it was easy, no, I wouldn't say that, but it certainly was easier. And so I'm going to put myself to the side there for a moment. And let's see. Yeah, I guess we're kind of like ready to get going. So kabam. And let's see what I have here for you to begin with. I've been putting these slides together like it's funny how much time this stuff takes. And I'm enjoying it, as you can tell. So yeah, this is today's webinar is a Rebels Toolkit. And let's see what time it is. Yeah, 03. Rebels Toolkit. And it's basically about the vagus nerve over here, right? And if I take this off for a moment, yeah, so it's hacking, not hacking, it's the way that the vagus, the way that the, we'll get to that, the way that the vagus nerve works. So I'm going to go to my copy that I made up for today. So here we go. Listen to me. Welcome, Ageless Warriors. I am Benedick Howard, your longevity architect. And I'm telling you, today is the day you stop settling for the slow decline, and you start demanding total mastery. Tony Robbins here. We are moving past the theories, past the excuses, and straight into the Rebels Toolkit. We aren't just talking about health, we're talking about power and vitality through the vagus system. We'll show you. And we're tuning our body's central processing unit, the nervous system, for peak performance. So in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to deconstruct the executive bottleneck, literally, right in the vagus nerve here. And I'm going to show you 7 natural yet uncommon vagus connection hacks. And de-stress, turn your parasympathetics back on. So that's when the parasympathetics are on, they're connected out here. When they're shut off, we're in that fight or flight, so everything's contracted. And I wanted to put up the dodecahedron here just to remind you of the source of this energy or the source of the condensation of this energy is through the dodecahedron. So it's time to stop treating symptoms like a victim and start architecting your biology for resilient, unbreakable equilibrium. So listen, you've got to stay with me until the very end because I've got something very special, and it's a really special procedure, something I personally use to stay on at the edge. And I'm telling you right now, it's not for the faint-hearted at all. And the one thing that we have to get beyond in all of this work is the indoctrination stuff. And come on, guys, bring it up. And it is so subtle and generational, if not whatever the 100-year word would be, or millennial, the subtleties of this indoctrination. And I'm going to talk more about the effects it's had on our consciousness as we go in through this. But everything, essentially everything that we were taught is the opposite of truth, whether it be at university, at school, or in your church. And I'm sorry to blow your bubble on that one, but it's really about us taking the sovereign self and really honoring it in the process. And that's why I want to get you with this vagus connection, because it's so cool what we can do with it. So let's see if I can, yeah. So we're really about orchestrating the inner architect, beyond programmable consciousness and mastering the micro current, these tiny little currents, which are even smaller than nano currents, I guess, that are so subtle and so immensely deleterious to the human body. And let me grab this slide here. Okay, so we're going to play it. I can pull it down, but I can't pull it up. Well, this is going to be a little difficult. So we're moving, welcome you guys again, and all of you guys that have signed up as a founding member to the Ageless Warrior Alliance. Really appreciate it. Some of you have already gone into the second month and got all of the January videos. So on to our briefing for today. Oh gosh, I put it at the bottom and I shouldn't have done. And let's see if I can. I can move it up. No, can I open it up? Oh gosh, thank goodness. So welcome, Ageless Warriors. Most people use technology to numb their bodies, and drugs, and food, and sex, and this, and that. But at the Ageless Warrior Alliance, we use this to interrogate the body. Today, we move beyond fixing symptoms. We are initiating a direct, non-verbal dialogue with your nervous system's central processing unit to reclaim your bio-sovereignty. So let's hide that one and hide that one and pop this one up. So you may remember from the last weeks, we were looking at the face points and how they mapped into the brainstem. Well, today we're kind of like going to the next level with that, where we're going to be looking at, okay, let's work on this vagus nerve which comes down right in here and streams out, like you see in the illustration there. So that's, to connect us back to what we were doing last week. And this one, okay, the 7 natural, okay, good, we got that. Here we go. This is what I'm looking at. So we've got the 7 natural vagal connections. And that's my topic of today. And just write some of this down or grab some screenshots from it. And please like and subscribe to the channel. Come and join me at benedickhoward.com there. You see on the left-hand side. And so this connection is super important for us because really it controls how we feel at a very deep level. It's a master switch because when the vagus system nerve is shut down, we're not connected with this space out here. So we're in that tight, contracted sort of place. So it's the longest nerve in your body. It's called the traveler nerve. And it comes and it just arches out into your organs and down and through the chest and the heart and everything. So it's all of that parasympathetic, parasympathetic connection. Now, of course, that is controlling a lot of the systems in the body, which we're not really normally, unless we're, very blah, blah, conscious, we're not really controlling that. But this master switch, which we're talking about here, and the ways to activate it, so it stops. Now it says leaking voltage. What it says is it's like when we are tight and contracted, our voltage is low, right? So the communication with the brainstem and up into the higher parts of the brain and to the rest of the body are in a sabotaging, basically, situation or disconnect. And one of the ways, of course, is to get, morning sunlight, because what happens with the morning sunlight is you get this change in the receptors at the back of the eyes that are tingled by the different wavelengths, some in the ultraviolet, some in the low reds. And they have this tingling sense relationship that literally manufactures all sorts of different hormones and very important ones in the body. So when we don't get that sunlight connection, you don't get this connection happening in the body. So what does that do? It reduces the energy and the hormone balance in the body. So it's like it shuts us down. That's why we get, when we have like, we're working in a dark office, or out of natural light, it's all of that. So it's like light through the retina activates the vagus pathway and effectively lowering stress and hormonal levels. So sunlight here, you've got the solar sanctuary, right? Morning sun exposure, especially, and evening. So it regulates the circadian rhythms and signals the safety to the brain. And basically it calms the brain down. So the vagus connection on the right there, light through retina stimulation, the hypothalamus, activates this pathway down here. And as we said before, reduces cortisol, which is super important. It increases mitochondrial functioning and enhances ATP production and boosts dopamine for focus. So it's like, if you're not getting that sunrise in the morning, okay, here's another thing. People in the north, right, in the climates this time of the year, say it's like wintertime. Even though you may not see the sun for a month, it's still the lower frequencies are coming through the body. So we are the inner architecting beyond programmable consciousness, because we're ridding ourselves of the indoctrinations and relearning that nature's way is the way. And I don't know why I got back to that slide, but I did. It's image document number 4 coming up. Let's see what we got here. Okay, now I have a challenge for you. I don't know if you've seen my podcast, The Fallacy and Idiocracy, but in it, I talk the first, second, or third broadcast or podcast, which is up on Substack. I talked with a lady who had got 250 roughly Freedom of Information Act requests from different high-level governmental and research and university that showed that there was no isolation or purification of a virus. So those people that don't understand what I'm saying here, you got a lot to de-indoctrinate yourself from. And because there's no need for an antiviral or that concept that viruses are harmful. As I said earlier, I'm in 3 days in the fast, and why I'm doing it is because I need to detox some of my old patterns, because I committed to myself to a whole bunch of things, but it really boils down to not overeating, which has been my main gluttony. And so I'm in the fasted mode now, 3 days in, and I plan to go 5. Keep my fingers crossed that I actually do it, because that gluttony thing is so prevalent in me now. It could be any addiction, right? But food is huge for us. So when we do this vocal cord oscillation, which is basically Clear my throat first. So I can feel it up in my nose, and it's clearing the bronchial holes there. And well, we got a bunch of people in here. If you could turn off your mics, that would be good. Welcome. Who we got? We got Teresa and Daryl and Rita and let's see, we got guests. Fabulous. Thanks for joining in, guys. And I just noticed you were here. My bad. And so nitrous oxide is increased 1,500%. You know, so it's 15 times the amount of nitric oxide that's released. In let's get back to the widgets here. And this instant vagal stimulation, this oscillation directly on the nerves here, directly into the bones that reach down into the earth and nerves and brings that energy into the rib cage and into the lungs and into the organs underneath. And so partly what my sound environments are around, which includes the sacred geometry part, but it is to get that sound deep into the tissues. And it resonates through the bones. The bones carry the long waves. And the longer bone, the longer the wave that it supports or resonates to. And so we got, let's see, where am I? Okay, we got that going. Oh, I see, we're going down this way on that one. And so let's look at this for a moment. So these paranasals get oscillated, right? And in there, that's where the nitric oxide is made. So this or any singing or any talking, but if you do it like, you know, consciously, and instead of just talking and singing, right, you do it consciously that you're tapping into your body. So you're creating, you know, in that case, it was like Tibetan undertoning, but it's like creating that very low frequency or whatever frequency, it doesn't really matter. It's just to get things moving, right? And I'm going to show you a couple of moving exercises in a moment. So there's a seawater effect on posture alignment. Now, at the beginning of Tony Robbins' talks, he had, I got to remember, Brian Bradley come in, who maybe you've heard of, but he was doing one of these exercises, and I want you to sit there and do this now. Or better still, stand up. Put your arms out straight, your palms facing down, and rotate your arms. And for a moment or two, right? And get right back into those shoulder blades and rest. Now do it the other way. Boom, 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 boom. And rest afterwards after you get to the point where you can't go anymore. And feel the difference, right? It's like night and day. And it's like everything opens up in here and everything's opening up in my neck at the same time. And so, you know, the biology of safety, you know, seawater is pretty safe. The effect drops cortisol by 32% by signaling biological safety to the brainstem. So when you're floating in that water, in that salt and mineral concentration, the brain goes into balance. The left and right go into balance. But majorly because of the grounding effect of the body lying in the water and the charge that's coming from the water that's replacing the tired feeling that one has. So the corporate fetal position, slumping over devices. Yeah. Huh. I did my Ashtanga yoga this morning, and I did the full practice, and I really noticed from actually having done that exercise for 3 days on the summit, and a couple other ones. One is like running on the spot. I can't do the computer. I'm sitting with the computer in my lap. It's running in the spot and doing so that you're tightening up the belly, you're tightening up the back, and you're rotating slightly, you're moving the shoulders backwards and forwards. And this is all to release the tension that's constricting the vagus nerve energy coming in. So the next slide, please. Yeah, this water effect. You know, this postural thing is super important because I, for one, my back was kind of like injured, not kind of, it was like badly injured when I was like 14. And why I've been on this journey is because it was exceeding pain. And I was seeking out natural ways in order to align myself. And it's been a journey, I can tell you. Chronic neck pain. And when my neck pain gets bad, the vagus system disconnects. And I get a block in my stomach here. And then when I go into, say, my yoga poses, I will get dizzy as crazy. And sometimes more so when I did long drives, but sometimes if I haven't done the yoga or exercise for a few days, when I stand out of some of those advanced poses, holy Moses, I'm no longer in my body. I'm out here somewhere. And what's happening is that as that energy comes in and I can feel it coming in and pouring into me, I go back into alignment and everything passes. At that time, there's a roaring in my ears. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So that's my story. What's yours? So the body electric, we've looked at this, from in the past, but one thing that I haven't mentioned here, which is cold showers. It doesn't have to be super cold. My showers are mostly in the high 50s and maybe low 60s, depends on the season here, because I got catchment water that doesn't get buried in the ground. And so I've noticed that, over this fasting situation, I've had like a bunch of showers because it just resets me. And it takes the neediness I have towards eating and resets it and gives me more energy. So there's another way that you can get tremendous energy into the body very, very quickly. So without that grounding, the electricity in your body is going negative. It's going down, depleting. When you're grounded, it replaces and fires up and brings that energy back into the body. So the parasympathetic shift is moving from the sympathetic fight or flight into the rest and repair state of the Ageless Warrior. So the rest and despair, fight or flight. I think there's a term that could describe this a lot better, because that term really predetermines, this is indoctrination speaking here, that we think of it as fight or flight. And one would be better off saying, think of it as time to have a cold shower, right? But that's how the subtleties of the indoctrination have been perpetrated on us. So we're going to end up with this one, before I go into, hey, I've got the super thing to show you in a moment. This chest exercise. So if you place your knuckles on your temples, like this, and then bring your elbows together and then back out again, and decompress the spine and give this a try. And decompress the spine, move them in and then out, in, out and try to get the elbows together. Ooh, ooh. Okay. This is going to decompress the spine and deepens the room that you have in your lungs for breathing. And so that's leads me to let's see if I've got the slide in the right place here. It'd be interesting if I do. Right. What I want to show you now, let's see if I can get myself back on screen. Yes. Oh, hello there. Great. Let's see, how do I close this off? Just for you. I try everyone. Okay. I want to go not playing in the pop out. I think. Okay, there we go. The thing I want to show you is like, it's the most gnarly thing that one can do in the microcurrent system. And it's putting the devices on the brachial plex here. So you take the electrodes and you put them up on the brachial plex, and I'll show you in a moment. It doesn't really matter which, I brought my devices and I forgot to show them last time. It doesn't matter which one you have. You can have, buy these off the internet because people don't know how to use them. And this is another version, which was one of the written devices from earlier on, very early on. That's 2003, that one. And this is the new written device, which is the Scanner Pro, which comes in around 4,000 on this one. And but I'm not going to use the whizzy expensive guys. I'm just going to use what actually Teresa and I have been talking about, is this device. Actually, this is an older version, but this is basically, they keep on modifying the thing in order to keep the price going and adding little frequencies and things on it. But when I press, let's see, okay, yeah, it came up. Okay, so the zeros there are the time that it would be on the skin. How do we get it? Right, and if I put my thumb on there, it'll start to count off. Why aren't you counting off? Oh, because I don't have any power on it yet. So I can bring up the power. Don't worry about this. This is all got, you get this all in the training. And I got it around, for me, probably right now, I didn't do 33 power. So what this does is I put it on here and I get it on the, and it's tightening up the nerves on the brachial plex and pulling my shoulder up to my ear. See, and it's like, I said this is gnarly, but what it does, it will straighten out all of the cervicals in that process, and therefore remove the blockages in the spine that's blocking the vagus nerve energy going down the spine. And if I put it in a different place, I can feel it going up in my ear. It really depends on where those nerves are. Let's see if I can get me. I don't know where I'm showing up in this picture, but but all the nerves that go up into the neck, right behind my video here. And so it's like this way of very quickly, actually, if somebody's with chronic whiplash, it's unbelievable how beautiful it is for them. It's just like I was doing right then. You do it 2 or 3 times and there'll be tears of relief going down their face. It's so powerful. And but that's what it's doing, is turning the parasympathetics back down. It's connecting in. So I wanted to give you that picture because, the breathing exercises and, the arms or the ears or a whole bunch of them, right? Going in water. Those all could be part of one's daily practice. And I think part of it is to recognize when we're going into that indoctrinated state of like, oh, it's fight or flight, right? What do I do about that? I better go have a drink, or I better go lie down. It's just as simple to take a walk, to go out in nature, to take a cold shower, to do something, physical and start to clean out the spine. In yoga, we downward dog, upward dog sort of a thing. And yeah, so that's what I had for today. And I see we're like closing up on time here. I've got a couple more slides. I do have a Warriors Q&A, and I may be able to jump in on a couple of questions that came out, but it's running out of time, and I don't want to go beyond timing for people that need to leave. So can I get a thumbs up from you if you'd like me to do that? And let me know. Okay, I got a thumbs up from Teresa. How about Daryl and Rita? Hey, Rita. Lovely Rita. Rita May. Oh, somebody's got it in the chat here. Yep. Teresa says, I live in high adrenal states. We're going to fix that. And yeah, so back to the widgets. Back to this last one down here. So this Q&A, let's go do it. I think I opened up. Yes, I did. So let me see if I can share the screen and go to the right place. Okay, we can log in there. I thought I was logged in. Okay, let's just do it. We'll log in here and stop sharing. View tab, Benedick Howard. Okay. Okay, and then we go down to, I believe I'm sharing right now, but I don't know. Let me see, view tab. There we go. And let's go down to forms, submissions. And let's use Jamie, because I only found this the other day. My bad. Anyway, that's what it is. So let's view this one. So I've got a questionnaire for folks that you can access from my Sunday webinar page. And so this lady is about cleaning microorganisms, toxic mold, candida, etc. from the previous diet. Gabam, fasting, end of story, right? It'll clean out all of that stuff. The microorganisms, I want you to look up the word pleomorphism, and you'll be amazed at what that is about. And we're going to get deeper into that later on. But essentially what it is that just like in our gut biome, things change around. And as that happens, when we get really toxic, that's when these microorganisms begin to breed. And they're there for the opposite of what mainstream indoctrination tells you about, that therefore they're there in order to clean out the body, not as a threat to the body. So what they do by giving you whatever to clean out the body is it affects the whole system, and it actually slows down your detox. That's how it's despicable, isn't it? So what is the single best longevity myth or health fact? Oh, here we go. Good one. How the body provides its own needs for repair and improves mitochondrial health when it is given a break from digestion. Digestion takes a lot of food or the energy from food. In fact, it takes about 70% of the energy from the food is dust in the process of digestion. When we have too much food in our system, and me today, my ankles have actually swelled up more than they used or started with. My lungs are being congested today because I'm now going into a more heavy detox or heavy autophagy, which is the elimination of cellular material that's basically dead and does me no good. And so what happens when all of that sludge gets excreted, or in me, I was coughing up stuff. Oh, excuse me. And that's coming out of my lungs. And when that stuff is actually stripping the electrical energy out of your system. So with me, what I decided on the Tony Robbins event, it gave me enough momentum and faith in myself that, hey, I can do this overeating shit. And if I stop the overeating stuff, I know I'll have so much extra energy, and I'll be able to stay abreast with doing these webinars and writing the book and etc. all these briefings. So on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're using other modalities, okay, she was using ocean soaking for minerals, wheatgrass, and other possible methods to rid toxins and repair cells. Essentially, it's back to the fasting thing. There's nothing faster than fasting to get healthy. I want you to get that in your heads. Because of the way that the system is orchestrated from outside ourselves, we're just this flesh body manifest beings, and we have to get really reconnected to that essence out here so that it can change what's in here. And so wheatgrass, yeah, I've done wheatgrass. I've done tons of wheatgrass, but I tell you, it does nothing compared to the fasting. None of this does. It's just, I've been on water and coffee, and yesterday I was experimenting with 2 teaspoons of high nutritious olive oil, and in order to just like double check on some ketone stuff going on. But normally I don't go with anything else. I just do the water thing. But what I'm trying to do is hack the fasting and make it so that I can detox more, and in a given time frame. So growth hormone, for instance, is up 1,500 to 2,500% in my body right now. So the more exercise I do, the more muscle I can grow, and the more bones I can connect, and the ligaments and everything else. And so it's not because I have low energy. I mean, I did the full Ashtanga practice yesterday morning. It's more about the willpower to get off the indoctrination and get on with, really having a vibrant body. And that's what the Ageless Warrior Alliance is about. Physical pain on a scale of 1 to 10, I think she's saying a 10. Average daily fasting through the week. She's fasting a lot. Maybe that was just a mistake there, but whatever. So she's interested in the bioelectric assessment, the Vision Quest Jumpstart, and the sound healing. I'm actually really interested in what I've got going there. And right, the bioelectric assessment is at a page on the website. I don't really want to go to it now because I'll lose my position here. Let's see if I can get visit site and open it up in another tab. But it's all available from the top tab there, from the top navigation. And there's another assessment for that, and which goes a little deeper than this. And then we have our meeting, and basically what I do is I will be listening and commenting on what I've learned about your situation. And also, after the meeting, I will take a transcript of that meeting and then orchestrate that into a action sheet, cheat sheet, action cheat sheet. Yeah, okay, an action sheet, and so that you can really get on with understanding more about like the things that I've just been talking about. And this bit would be one of the videos to certainly go and look at. And the Vision Quest Jumpstart is one-on-one with me here in Hawaii. And that's pretty intense. And depending on the assessment, it's going to be intense no matter where you are, but depending on the assessment is where we start you at. And but my goal there is to get your body thoroughly detoxed, and not only that, but get it into shape, and to change your meal habits and the fermentation foods, in which I'll show you how to make, and hikes that we can do locally here. And if you're up for it, we'll do some of the monas, the mountains, Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa hikes as well. So I think that's a sharing point to go to right now. But that's those assessments, that's what they're there for. And don't tell me I locked out. No. Did I lose you? I hope not. No, we still got 4 people in there. That's a good sign. So here we go. Share screen. No, that's not sharing anymore. So that's good. So jump in on the weekly calls. Go and sign up for the Ageless Warrior Alliance, and like, subscribe, and get on my email list, because that's the best way. Things are being shut down for me on Facebook, and because of this information that I've been shut down before on. And so your weekly challenge is, of course, is to incorporate some of these exercises. So go through this thing again. And I forgot to upload a file that had all of those slides on them. But I will do that. Since you guys are attendees, I'll send those on to you personally afterwards. So let's go through. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to Q&A a little bit more. Yeah, I don't want to spend much time on this because I've gone over for 15 minutes. So thumbs up, thumbs down, got any questions? Hey, let me know. You're trying to look at how you can get back, put your camera on, or unmute yourself. Okay, Teresa, do you have something? I got you unmuted.
Hi, Ben.
Hey.
Yeah, good information. I just want to correct something. Did I come in too late? I just thought it started at 7, right? 7 p.m.?
Yeah, that's 2 p.m. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have lots of questions about the vagal nerve toning and the stim unit and how to balance all this to get my energy going. I was a powerhouse for so long until my mitochondria got crashed.
Right. So, right. I think basically, I know a little bit of your background, and and the situation you're in is really problematic. Not only from a health point of view, but from a career point of view as well. And when there's that disconnect, it becomes really difficult to really get healthy when you're in an environment that's not providing the health. It's not supportive. You can hack your way through this and you will get better, but you can only get so far. And, just this simple exercise, or this one like this, it doesn't have to be anything, or just running on the spot or trying to run on the spot. You got to get that energy moving. And in order to get the energy moving, you've got to have a powerful vision for where you're going. that's really emotional, got emotional charge to it, right? So it sucks you into that place. Then, of course, it's the commitment and the accountability and setting goals. Now, talking about setting goals, how many of these can you do, right? How many of
I
these
can,
could, no, I'm
yeah.
not asking for that question
Oh,
right now, but I'm asking in terms of like whatever the baseline is, that you make a record of it. You keep tabs on it. And I have down here just an example of how I keep tabs on things. Every day I put a score down for what my essentially my workload and my health load. And and that way over the weeks, which I got in here, I can really monitor where I'm showing up and where I'm not showing up, right? And it makes it objective. It's not something that's personal anymore.
mhm.
And so it's out there. Okay. What I did actually, I scanned the different pages, and I put them into AI, and it came out with a really helpful analysis. And so there's different stuff that we can do with this in order to expedite the organization of all of this data. And that's a big issue. It's like, okay, blah, 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 blah. What is my goal? Was to write the book and get it finished by May the 27th. How many hours am I working on it? 2 hours last week, right?
Mm.
And so where's my priority on that? Well, I don't have I can give you stories come cows come home, right? But the bottom line is that I'm distanced from my vision and what I really want to create. And I think that's the issue with all of us, is that if we're not in that place of mastery, of really mastering things, because the world is frigging chaotic right now. And we've got to stand clear of that. Things are collapsing in ways that some people don't see. A lot of people don't see. And then a lot of people are so stressed out they can't see it, right? And so it's like the better and the sooner that we can do that mastery, the sooner and the better we can make it, benefit others as well. So I'm going to close out here. I've really enjoyed having you all in, and bam, mahalos. Have a great week. We're going to explore these topics more and more over this month, and we're going to end up with, and I've got to do this yet, where I did this core study, which was a year-long study on measuring the points here and then comparing what was going on in my life at that time. And it's kind of interesting what I learned out of it. You would never think it.
With the
Um,
pen? With the pen?
yeah, those 6 points that are on the
Mm-hmm.
last week's, and they're on the webpage as well. And yeah, so kabam, everybody. Woo! Woo! Get your energy up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up, no matter what.
Whew. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Aloha.